Before I start, just know, I love American Express. I've called myself the Amex shill, and I've defended and touted American Express as being the best credit card issuers of all time for like the last 5 years now. I even have 7 American Express credit cards that are currently active right now. And to top it all off, I've even put my own face and created my own American Express credit card. Compliments of Calby NG, of course. He makes all of these. So it's really safe to say that I'm really about that American Express lifestyle. And as much as I love American Express credit cards, I will never love them quite like Sledge does. Now just know, keeping all of that in mind, that there have been some controversies involving American Express over the last couple of weeks. Some of which I've covered extensively on this channel, and it really kind of led me down this path of thinking like, hey, maybe American Express isn't necessarily the GOAT anymore. And while everybody always talks about the positives, nobody ever really addresses the negatives. So upon my own experience and the experiences of others and a little bit of research, I have comprised a list of 8 different reasons why you should stay clear and all of the immediate dangers of actually getting into a relationship with American Express. Now, starting off first is the controversies. No, I'm not talking about that controversy. I'm talking about the one that happened recently to another YouTuber named Constantinos Points. He put out a video pretty recently stating that American Express has just, without notice, without warning, and without hesitation, canceled all, and I mean all, of his American Express credit cards.
And I saw that the app was actually saying that everything was canceled. All my credit cards, from my second ever credit card here in the US, the Amex Blue everyday, Blue Cash everyday, to my Platinum, they were all canceled.
And since then, I've done a bunch of podcasts, and he's released videos on why American Express did this and what was the come of it. That's right, there was no warning, there was no email, all of his cards suddenly were canceled on one day, which means he's lost all of his American Express points that he had in his account, no longer has access to those credit cards, and now faces the real possibility that he might be blacklisted, which means he'll never be able to get inside the American Express ecosystem ever again. And we know that when we sign up for American Express credit cards, they say they have the right to revoke all of your membership reward points or cancel any American Express cards that you have at that time for any reason they deem fit. Now, of course, American Express could have been justified in this situation. Constantinos had some interesting things that don't normally occur to everybody else that has American Express credit cards, like some authorized users not putting their information in there, payments not fully going through, so maybe it's justified, but it still stands. American Express did this without a warning. And along with that, there's also a lot of weirdness happening with American Express recently, with everybody, it seemingly is in pop-up jail, to which now I'm starting to call pop-up prison, which essentially means you're disallowed from getting the sign-up bonus for whatever reason they deem at that time. And along with all those things, American Express is one of the most strict when it comes to manufactured spend or just gaming the point system as a whole. Now, of course, we sign up into the points and miles game because we want to essentially game the system, but we want to do it legally and ethically, right? But if there's any red flags that show up on American Express's end that you are either abusing the system and just getting points, canceling the cards directly after within a year, manufactured spend by like sending Venmo payments, etc., anything that would raise a red flag to American Express, well, they're going to cancel all your cards and you might be blacklisted. Now, of course, this is a factor for all other credit card issuers, but it just seems like American Express is particularly strict about this. And honestly, 99% of the people probably don't have to worry about their cards getting canceled, their accounts being blacklisted. And actually, while editing, there's been some more controversies that have came to light. Right now on YouTube, there was a video posted about a guy who went to Mexico and tried to pay for gas with his Amex Platinum card. They said it was denied and ended up getting charged $1,000 in fraudulent fees, and apparently Amex denied him. And well, let's just take 30 seconds and react to this clip together.
Part of us.
Zach says his vacation hit a sour note while driving back to Cabo's airport to leave. He says he pulled his rental car into this gas station near the airport in order to gas up. Zach says he gave the gas station attendant his American Express Platinum card to pay. However, Zach says the attendant returned to his rental car with bad news. He discovered that the gas station attendant had lied about his car not working and had actually charged him $980. Zach disputed the charge with American Express 3 different times, and each time Amex said the bogus charge was legitimate and that Zach had to fork over the $980.
Now, of course, these are just 2 isolated and very rare events. Typically, American Express is very good with disputes. However, I wanted to add it into the segment of controversies because it also adds to just how weird American Express has been as of the last few months. Okay, back to the video. So now that's just the recent controversy, and what a lot of people are fearing currently right now with the state of the economy. Is American Express tightening down on a lot of different things? I don't know. But let's talk about their credit cards and their charge cards themselves. But American Express cards are really good, right? They're the best cards that you can possibly get out in the world, right? Well, maybe not. Honestly, not for the faint of heart. Now, while American Express cards do offer a lot of good categories and perks and benefits, they also come with a price tag. And that price tag comes in the form of annual fees. If we're looking at any of the highest tiered American Express cards, from the green to the platinum, each one of these credit cards is going to have a decently high annual fee from $700 all the way down to $150, which is something you have to pay every single year, despite if you use the card or not. Now, over the last couple of years, American Express has gained kind of a bad rap for including credits, perks, and benefits that nobody really uses. For example, the Amex Platinum card for the last at least 2 years now has been kind of called a coupon book, which the reason why is because they're giving you a lot of different miscellaneous benefits, such as like the Walmart Plus membership, credits towards Equinox Fitness, which literally like 3 people can use, Saks on Fifth credit for only the elites, but then again, they're only giving you that every 6 months, so it's like, how many different things can I buy on Saks on Fifth for under $50? Well, the shirt was, but how many more things? Or even just some of the biggest credits they give you, like $200 every single year towards Uber Eats, which I can speak for a lot of people in the community. They have very strong opinions about using Uber Eats through American Express, and just the fact that they're charging way higher service fees and delivery fees just by using their app themselves, as opposed to just buying direct to the restaurant. And some credits just being outright a little bit hard to use, like the airline incidental fee credit of $200. I think it's safe to say that most people that have the Platinum card are probably not using the full amount of that $200 every single year. And then even going into the Amex Gold card, which is usually touted as the best food card in all of the land. Some critics also raise a big point that it does have a $250 annual fee that's only offset by $20 a month in dining credits in the form of Uber Eats and Grubhub and a few other restaurants. Which again raises the same point, like, hey, maybe I'm a person that does not really want to pay the extra service fees and delivery fees by Uber Eats or Grubhub. Or I just like to eat food at home fairly often, right? And I don't order out that much, which means these benefits are kind of null and void, and you're still stuck paying that $250 annual fee. Now, of course, the American Express Gold card does have some great multipliers on grocery stores within the US only, and as well as restaurants, getting 4 points per dollar spent on all of those. So if you do value your American Express points at 2 cents per point, like a lot of people in the community do, you'll have to spend a minimum of around $3,000 every single year on groceries and dining, which it's not that hard to hit, right? But again, that's just to break even, not to actually profit off this card. And honestly, in the categories of food and travel, there actually are a ton of other cards out there with $0 annual fee that earn pretty similar in rewards. Like the Capital One Savor 1 rewards credit card, giving you 3% back on dining purchases, grocery purchases. I mean, even today, the BILT card has a dining category that kind of rivals the Amex Gold card's dining category. And as far as travel cards alone, I mean, the VentureX credit card, we already know pays for itself with all the credits they give you, and they're actually really easy to use as well. I mean, even the Capital One Quicksilver card, you know, one of like the lowest tiered cards in all of the land, has a 5x travel category, which pretty much is the same as the Amex Platinum card. I get it, you get into the argument of membership reward points, but it still stands the point. The Platinum card is not great for categories. The Gold card, there are technically some alternatives that actually can earn you a lot more money if you're someone that doesn't like the dining credits. And I kind of in the back of my head want to say the Hilton Aspire card is like way better than the Amex Platinum card. I get it, they're both Amexes, but like one's Hilton, one is like the renowned travel card of American Express, like the Wonder Boy. Still pales in comparison to what you would get with the Hilton Aspire card. For a lower annual fee, mind you. But I guess we'll just leave that one out, right? Now, while a lot of people in the credit card community are generally confused when it comes to travel partners and how you can actually maximize all of your American Express points that you earned and redeem them for awesome travel rewards, there's a lot of different channels that go into this specifically. But it does raise a point that it is a little bit complicated if you're just somebody getting started in the American Express world. It's not entirely clear how to use your points to the best of their abilities, right? And for someone like myself in my current situation, I'm really trying to stay at a lot of different hotels recently, and I don't have the greatest options with American Express. I get we have Marriott, I get we have Hilton, but it's not the highest cent per point value ratio. Of course, everyone's touting Hyatt nowadays, and that's going to come with Chase or that's going to come with BILT. So right then and there, if I just want to stay at Hyatt hotels, well, I'm not really going with American Express, I'm going with Chase and BILT. So it almost seems like it's apparent to me that if you're trying to fly internationally with some really amazing vacations, use your American Express points for the flights. And for like the Chases, etc. out there, it might be best bet using them for hotels. Or at least that's how I've been doing it. Maybe it's not the best, but it's what I like doing right now. So moving right along, let's go to number 3, which I called, let me put it on my tab. Yeah, so if we're just talking about the top credit cards, right? We're talking about the Platinum, Gold, and Green. These are what are called charge cards, which means there's no direct spending limit. It could be nothing or it could be infinite, everything in between, right? But what this also means is you can't really carry a balance on those credit cards from month to month like you would with a normal credit card. Now I get it, pay over time was added about 2 years ago, which means now you do technically have a credit limit. Any amounts over $100 could be left on your balance for the following month. But I don't know, but I just feel like the majority of people who have American Express credit cards still treat them like they are still charge cards, where you have to pay them in full at the end of each month no matter what. Now, if you're not factoring in pay over time, there also are some American Express credit cards that do have credit limits. They're not charge cards. Really, the most popular of them with American Express specifically is going to be the Blue series, the Blue Cash Everyday or the Blue Cash Preferred. Now, the co-branded cards mostly also have credit limits, but as far as directly with American Express themselves, the Blue series is really the only options. Now, I know you're not about to bring up the Everyday card. Now, I get it. They're actually not that bad, but why does nobody talk about them?
Probably be the American Express Everyday card because it's easy to get approved for.
Now, I will say for the pay over time feature and the credit cards themselves, they do usually offer really high credit limits. But I guess I could see how that could be a double-edged sword because the more credit limit you have, the more than likely that most people are going to be using that. Gotta remember, not everybody is as responsible as you are. I mean, even though we hate Capital One, I mean, there's something to be said about only having a $500 limit for like 10 years straight. I mean, you're not really going to be in monumental debt with that kind of limit, are you? Number 4 is, well, you're just not in the club. Yes, one of the most common things brought up when people talk about having American Express cards exclusively is that they're not actually accepted everywhere. And in fact, a lot of small businesses do not even allow payments for American Express. And in my own experience, I've noticed a lot of parking lots and, parking structures that offer credit cards as payment. They actually don't include American Express as well, or at least in the places I've been to, that is. And it's also a common theme abroad that maybe if you're using American Express cards for all your international travel, you might as well bring a MasterCard or a Visa with you anyway, just in case American Express is not accepted in those places. Number 5 is cashback does not equal points. That's right, with American Express credit cards, you have no option to transfer your cashback to points and vice versa. Points have to stay with the points and the cashback has to stay with the cashback. You're kind of just separating them two. And you might say, Anthony, of course, that doesn't even make sense. How would you be able to combine them? I mean, just look at Capital One and Chase. They have totally shown and paved the road for a way to kind of combine your cashback, your points, and even your miles all together in one, to have it within one ecosystem and redeem them any way you want. But if I have, say, an American Express Blue Cash every day, well, I'm getting cash back and that's all I can really ever use with them. There'll never be anything more than just cash back, as that's the main thing. A lot of these cards can't necessarily work in conjunction with one another. Because could you imagine if I had a Blue Cash Preferred that gave me 6% back, but that can be converted 1-to-1 to points? Well, that beats the American Express Gold card any day. But they've set it up so that we can't do that. Number 6 is barrier to entry. Now, while you actually can get approved for some American Express credit cards with a lower score, generally they just want to see around a 650 score and much higher to get approved for pretty much any of their credit cards. I mean, even with the lowest tiered American Express credit card, they're going to want a score of at least 650 or higher to even be able to get approved. Now, of course, your mileage may vary. Maybe you know somebody that got approved for lower than 650, but this is just what American Express pretty much puts out there in the world. Now, I think this is actually a good thing in the grand scheme of things, because if you're really just somebody just coming up, now if the barrier to entry was only 500 or 600 score, you might be tempted to accumulate all of these higher tiered cards with super high annual fees, and now come to find out a year or two later, you're stuck with all these annual fees for a card that you didn't really realize you wouldn't be able to use in the first place. So I think it's good that they have this kind of barrier to entry, the 600 and 700 range to get approved to the cards. So this way they're held in higher regard, a little bit more respect for these expensive credit cards. And of course, I'm totally talking about myself here. I was that person. Number 7 is once per lifetime. That's right, anybody who knows American Express also knows that they have certain language regarding all of the welcome bonuses and sign-up bonuses with their credit cards. That being what's called the once per lifetime bonus, which essentially states that any American Express cards that you've had or will have can only earn one sign-up bonus for your entire life. So from the ages of 18 to 99, you can only earn one Amex Platinum sign-up bonus. Now, of course, there's some nuance to this. I've heard data points of people saying when they switched from the Premier Gold card to the regular Gold card, they were able to get a new sign-up bonus. They waited 7 years and they got a sign-up bonus. All of this is anecdotal. I don't think any of it is true. And Amex specifically states right here that it doesn't matter what the card was. If a product has changed and revamped, for the most part, lifetime is a lifetime. Which means if you're someone like myself who got the Amex Platinum card maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, I only got a sign-up bonus of $60,000. points. I know, that's really sad. Nowadays, they're upwards to 100,000, even 150,000. I missed out. I left so much money on the table. And had I known about this rule a little bit earlier, I probably would have just waited to get that higher sign-up bonus. But what did I do? I applied for it, and I signed my life away. And before I move on, quick fun fact for you. Did you know that you can actually get the United Kingdom Platinum card, the Hong Kong Platinum card, and other international Amex Platinum cards, and none of it actually counts towards your once per lifetime rule? So technically it means you can collect like every country's Amex Platinum cards if they have them, and collect all of the sign-up bonuses for them as well. But I'm not even going to pretend to understand how that all works. I don't even know if you need citizenship visas. I have no idea. Maybe Ben Hedges probably understands that a little bit better than I do. But I mean, just look at companies like Chase or Citi. I mean, Chase, the Sapphire series, you can get a new sign-up bonus on the same card once every 4 years. So technically, if you're 18 and you live to 99 every 4 years, is that like 20 sign-up? That's like 10? That's like, no. So, okay. Oh, okay. So that's like 20 sign-up bonuses over your lifetime if you're really diligent every 4 years. So wait a second, 20 sign-up bonuses times 60K for the Sapphire Preferred is like 1.8 million points, which is actually just enough for me to live about a year and a half within a Hyatt hotel. So a lifetime of churning equals a year and a half of Hyatt stays. Not bad. But of course, by that point, inflation and a million points will be worth like $1, in 80 years. And it seems like Citibank also has a similar rule. With every 4 years, you're able to get sign-up bonuses on those select credit cards. But again, with American Express, well, that's not possible. Number 8. Number 8 is get down with the sickness. Wow. I'm not even going to do it. Now, when I say down with the sickness, I mean down with the downgrading. As far as American Express is concerned, there are really no real options for upgrading, downgrading, side grading. I don't know. I mean, just think about it. Look at the charge cards, right? If you have the Amex Platinum card, but maybe I don't want to pay $700 every single year anymore, and I don't want to cancel as well. Maybe it's an old card. The most you can possibly do is downgrade that Platinum card down to the traditional Amex Green card that a lot of people don't know about, but it has a $55 annual fee and offers no benefits whatsoever. It's basically just a placeholder if you don't want to cancel any of your cards and you want a cool design green card that nobody has. I guess a little fun fact about that, if you pay $40 more, so total $95 annual fee, they'll actually re-include the membership reward points categories on that green card, which pretty much brings us back to that $95 green card we had just about 4 years ago. But now we're stuck with this, $150 one. But seriously, I don't mean to keep coming back to it, but look at Chase. If I have the highest tiered, most premium Chase credit card, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and I don't want to hold that card anymore, I don't want to pay for it, I could downgrade that to the $95 Sapphire Preferred, and if I don't want that, I could even downgrade to the no annual fee Chase Freedom Unlimited card. And I'm not going to lose any of my ultimate reward points, because all of them technically do earn ultimate reward points. For American Express, if I were to cancel any of those 3 cards, the green, the gold, and the platinum, I will have no other anchors that are keeping my membership reward points within my account, which means if I cancel the cards, I cancel all the points too. That's why you see a lot of people on YouTube actually apply for the Amex Blue Business Plus, because that does keep your membership reward points, and there's no annual fee, which means, you can keep that open indefinitely, and it should not hurt you. Should only help you. Now, just to prove to you that I'm not a full-blown hater of American Express, let me just rapid fire all the good things now. They have a lot of good perks, benefits, and categories to kind of redeem while you're traveling and to actually enhance the human experience while you're traveling. They offer a ton of protections like car rental insurance, travel protections like luggage, and or just purchase protection on anything you buy with said credit card. The ability to accumulate a bunch of American Express credit cards without really hurting your credit score, considering most of the time, very commonly, but not always, every single American Express card that you open, except for the first one, will be a soft pull, so that will save your credit card as you're building your portfolio of Amex cards. Excellent 24/7 live human customer service. I can't tell you how many times I've had issues or questions with American Express and I was able to answer via the live chat or just a call. They help me out immediately, and they really are on your side as a consumer, I feel. Statuses for hotels like Hilton's and Marriott's that give you a slew of other benefits as well, and of course, status for yourself. And here's a little joke for you guys. How do you know if someone has an American Express card or not? You don't really have to know. Within the first couple of minutes of meeting them, I'm sure they're going to bring it up.